Hello, thank you for joining me today. This is Jasmine Talk Show. Today, I really wanted to talk about a topic about responsibility. So, my question for you is: are you a responsible person or are you a blamer? Now, the reason I say that is because it's often a little easier to um, when I put two opposite extremes, it helps to for people to see what I am really talking about. So I got a little background story to share with you and to just kind of shine a light on where we're at this point as a collective society and how we are handling about responsibility and how we are owning up. So I don't know if you all are familiar with lawsuits and things like that. When I first came to the US, like probably within the first few years or whatever, and what really occurred to me is that there are just plenty and plenty of lawsuits, and it becomes as a way for people to kind of make some windfalls. If they're unfortunate enough to get into a lawsuit, a lot of the times I felt like they kind of use it as an opportunity to get some money in their pockets. And I certainly had that mindset years ago when I was getting into an accident. And just because I was been brainwashed and believing that, oh my gosh, like that's an opportunity, to make something out of an opportunity, right? Even though when it was unfortunate. And slowly, when I am really diving into my soul searching journey, that's when I realize I don't know about that mindset anymore. And so going back to recent, so I live in Texas, and recently we have a snowstorm, and it was quite unprecedented. And so a lot of the homes, including ours, went without electricity and water for a couple of days. So we're one of the lucky ones that we were only out for a couple of days. And I know some people still out of water, could be electricity even a couple weeks after. So they are still, a lot of people dealing with the aftermath on that. But going back was, I was talking to my apartment manager yesterday when I went down to the office. And so I was just chatting with her to say like how lucky we were. Our complex didn't really have any major damages. I don't think we have any damages other than some of the plants, unfortunate, that they have to cut down because of the freezing and much lower than freezing temperatures. So some just didn't survive because um, it wasn't anything that's normal for that kind of temperature to be around. So what happened is we were talking about, like, I was mentioning, hey, we do have a pool, we have a big tub full of water. So when we didn't have water, we actually, my husband went down there and collect some water for us, right, to for the bathroom uses. And then the manager said that she was actually asking the corporate to see if she can actually send out an email and letting the residents know that they can come down and get the pool water because it's full of water. And what she was told was no, because now here is the main part of it, was that she was told that if somebody slipped and fell, whether into the pool or on the ground, they would be liable for it. And I was just, I wouldn't say I was shocked, but I definitely wasn't quite prepared to hear that particular comment. And then it really brought me to the realization that as a collective, as a society, this is where we come down to. It's that even though we have information and we have ideas, a lot of the times that we have to withhold that information because we are in the fear of being sued, being blamed. Now, and the manager later said, people figured it out. People figured it out, what they had to do, if they are willing to kind of think outside the box, that type of thing. So, actually, when we were going to go down and get some water from the pool, some other neighbors asked what we were doing, and then we let them know that this is what we were doing, and then they were like, "Oh my gosh, they never thought about it." So, but for us to share with them what we're doing, we are not liable for, because we are not telling people what they should be doing. We're just letting them know what we're doing. But it's just really sad. And then it is something that I'm sure it's on the back of the mind of many, many businesses, that I'm sure not all of them have like pure intention, but a lot of the businesses out there and wanted to help people, want to provide service, wanted to serve. And I'm sure that was something that's at the back of their mind, and to the point that now we've been trained to always blame. And when we blame, we can never, whenever we are in the moment of blaming, that, you know what, I never get that because nobody ever told me that. I certainly fell into that trap many, many, many times. Sometimes I would miss the deadline to pay my bill. Rarely, but it happened. And then I would be like, well, did you guys send me an email? So I would automatically jump into that kind of attitude. Like, did you remind me? But in reality, it is my responsibility to begin with. And then we just tend to shift it to the other party so that we don't have to feel guilty, feel bad, and blame it on ourselves and yell at ourselves, right? And it wasn't anything good. But the thing is, as long as we're in that mentality and that mindset, we can never change, and we can never improve, and we can never step up to be the higher version of ourselves, right? And I mean, just about a pool water, it wasn't really quite the highest version of ourselves, but it's definitely something that we can utilize and to help make our life just tiny bit easier and tiny bit more pleasant. But they couldn't do it because they were fearful. And of course, during those time when we are like sub-freezing level, sub-freezing temperature, the ground, it's like snowy and could be iced. It wasn't really, when you think about it, it wasn't quite safe, as you call it. But you kind of have just to be careful if you want to do it. But they just withheld the information, and then they had to let the resident to come up, be creative, right? It's there. They would never say that they would not allow you to take it, but they just couldn't share the information freely. So you can imagine how much information that we couldn't get because as a society we had more and more become a blamer. And let me share this with you. When we are a blamer, we are never in our own power, and we can never ever have the control to make things happen. Things can still happen by luck, but it's never going to be by choice and by control, by our willpower. And what does that mean to us? Is that, oh, you know what, it might happen once, it will never happen again, because we weren't quite in the control seat or the driver's seat to make that happen. And then it just kind of a fluke, something random, and it would never ever help to build our confidence. So it's not just, oh, you know what, I can be a blamer and good things will still happen. Yeah, it can, but randomly. So if you're really wanting to take control of your life, to really steer into the direction that you want to go, one of the first thing is stop blaming. It can be many, many things that, like, you gain 5 pounds over 2 days, really start looking into, like, well, don't say that there's a bunch of food in my kitchen. It's always about our willpower. And the more we exercise and discipline our willpower, the easier it becomes. And when it's easier, it's kind of like our muscle, right? The more we exercise, the easier it gets. And so, bit by bit, you can see a huge difference in terms of really focusing and putting your intention on the things that you want to experience, the people that you want to be surrounded by, the feelings that you want to have every day, instead of just kind of being the random receiver that whatever comes, I'll take it. I've been in that position for a very, very long time, and I always thought that, what, I'll be very flexible, and I'm such a flexible person. I'll take whatever it comes. And not really realizing that I never ever exercise the power of my intention. Like, actually, I have the power to create, but I never believed in it. I never thought that I am significant enough, right, to really manifest what I wanted to experience. And then slowly, that's what I've been realizing. Hey, you know what? If there's something I want to experience, maybe I can actually make it happen. And then more and more so, I exercise that muscle, and to now I can really believe in that. The more attention that I put on a certain situation, a certain feeling, a certain type of people, the more that they come. So it's really about how we wanted to utilize our attention, our energy, our focus, our time, just our mindset, because it's all there. We all have it. It's a matter of whether you want to use it or not, and how you want to use it, right? So I know it's been, I go from responsibility all the way to the life that you want. And, I am really passionate about helping women to really get into their power, to realize how powerful we are, each of us. There's no exception. Like 20 years ago, the me and the me now is totally different. Like, I was so helpless, I was so lost, I was so empty, didn't know what I want in life. I didn't even know what my favorite color was. To now, like, okay, what kind of life do I want to live? What do I want to manifest? What is my intention? And, and just be really selective on what and how I want to experience my life. And you can do that too. So if you're interested in changing your life, improving your life, leave me a comment and reach out to me, and then we can have a chat about what I see in you and what I see your blocks could be from stopping you to reach your dream life. And that's my mission, that's my vision for a lot of the people out there. If you are on board, let's have a chat. All right. So I hope you find it helpful for today's video, and I will see you next time. Bye.